Hi, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. And for those of you that are supporting me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your monthly subscriptions. If you're interested in supporting the channel over on Patreon, please go over to patreon.com, choose a subscription level. You get the daily forecast a day early. You also get other readings that are available only over there. If you're interested in a private reading, you can always Facebook message me at the Facebook business page. If you're watching this on YouTube, please go over and give me a like and a follow over on Facebook. And vice versa, if you're seeing this somewhere posted on Facebook, go over and give my YouTube channel a subscribe. If you enjoyed the video while watching it, please hit the thumbs up. That greatly helps me and helps YouTube know that I'm making content people are enjoying. Therefore, they will sort of show it to other people in the algorithm. Alright, so this is the daily forecast for everyone. This reading pertains to those who watch it. It's originally forecasted for Thursday, October 22nd, but it is a timeless reading because it is a message for the highest good of the greater collective. Therefore, these messages never go out of sort of style or meaning, right? So when you're seeing this, if you're seeing it on a date that's not October 22nd, that's completely fine. It could mean that you're ready to now see this message. If this message doesn't make sense to you for any reason or doesn't really apply to your life, that's fine too. Don't worry, it doesn't mean anything's wrong. It just means you may be working on something different. Beyond that, if you make any decisions or choices in your life pertaining to this reading, please make sure that you understand that it is your responsibility to make decisions. Always trust your own intuition. Basically, take what you need from this reading and leave the rest. Okay? So let's see where we're at. We're at Thursday, kind of still in the midweek. So, trailing off the midweek, let's see, what card are we getting? Ooh, Volcano. Ready to erupt, anyone? Not the best card. I have to say, this Mercury retrograde, this could be a day of like an accumulation of built up energy, emotions for some. This could be, this could burst forth in I don't know, frustrations, anger, anxieties. It's going to be different for each person, but you might hit your breaking point today. I do get a sense of relief from this card, though. It's funny, even though it's a volcano that is sort of blowing forth. To me, it feels like there is a truth that maybe comes out of this, a sense of well-being after, say, the act of speaking our truth, or maybe exploding per se. This could also, for some of you, I don't know why, but I'm looking at this, it could be just a burst of energy, right? Like where it doesn't necessarily have to mean a bad thing. It could be like the sort of the energy of wanting to get things accomplished, get things done, and moving very quickly. I do get that sense too, like in a very positive light. So there might be some of you that are experiencing like this overflow of a forward push in whatever it is you're working towards. Be mindful not to move too quickly or too, what's the word, like maybe impetuously or kind of, like I get the sense that even if we're moving in a positive direction, like say this has nothing to do with argumentative or upset behavior, it just has to do with this big forward push of like boom and we're coming through. Just be careful to, like, you know, not overlook the small details, right? Because volcano is such a big action, right? The eruption of a volcano is such a big, overwhelming action that we might miss some sort of small detail along the way. So keep mindful of that. This paired with that rebellion card that's underneath, though, this makes me think that for the majority of you, this might be us drawing boundaries, stating our piece, defining our what's right and what's wrong, standing true in that, maybe having to even argue or fight for that. But I do think that there is a piece that comes after this eruption, if that makes sense. And that's part of that rebellion card, right? I also get this sense as I'm looking at this and I'm talking about it, I feel like there's a nothing left to lose kind of vibe to this. In essence, if we don't speak our truth, you know, we've got nothing left to lose other than to speak exactly how we feel, right? And the reason why I say that is because I think back to that rebellion card where she had those deceased birds and flowers around her. It's sort of like the environment is just no longer, it's not about saving others over ourselves anymore, kind of is what I want to say, right? Like it's sort of like we're placing ourselves, our needs, our thoughts, our opinions sort of first. We may have to do that somewhat aggressively, right? To make it really clear. And that might be the sort of the wipeout that we saw in some of those flowers. But from that wipeout, in the rebellion part, she rebuilds, right? She's in the purity of who she is. She's in that white shirt that we saw. She's holding that live bird. She's holding on to her truth, right? So things, and what I mean by things, it could be situations, people, that sort of stuff could suffer in the wake of that, but in the end, a truth is told, clarity comes forth once the dust settles. Does that make sense? And so I really think that this also is coming through as volcano because of this retrograde, because both Mars, which is a volatile, argumentative planet, that is in Aries, is in retrograde, and so is Mercury in retrograde, moving from Libra into Scorpio. Scorpio can be a fairly volatile sign when it wants to be too. So let's see what the Queen of the Moon Oracle has to say. So we have resistance. Interesting. This reminds me a little bit of that rebellion card, right? And so this is the waning crescent number 2, the wayness. And this is a number 25. I don't know if you guys can see that. 2 and 5 is a 7, right? What I do love about this is we've got live birds and we've got live flowers growing in this fist. I'm going to say this. There's strength in us being true to ourselves this over like, you know, this portion of the week. Even if we have to be somewhat aggressive, like this fist makes me feel like she's standing up for what she knows to be true. She's holding tight to her truth. From that truth comes life, growth, belief. There's a choice here, right? That's the 25, which makes 7. 7 is always about making a choice and like actively choosing that sort of path, that outcome, that belief. So if we're choosing to stand in our truth of the volcano, even if we have to fight for it, from that, new things are born, right? That's all the green growth, the birds flying around the hand. There's a strength. Yes, it's a fist, right? So we have to be firm, but it doesn't feel violent to me in the sense that we might blow our top a little bit like the volcano, but we're not out to harm anyone. We're not out to, you know, pound anybody over the head. There's actually something that's happening for us in this truth as we are true to ourselves. Now let's look. Let's see the grounding stone. Let's see what our grounding stone is. Okay, beautiful. After all of that, I can't think of the name of the stone. Why am I blanking on the name of this stone? All of that black stone. Obsidian in the early part of the week. I like to see this. This is malachite, which is associated with the heart. And this is energy. So to me, I definitely see this green heart-centered energy in this resistance card, right? Where we have the growth of the green trees through our truth and through our strength, right? Through exploring that strength and standing in that strength, making a choice to be in that strength, we bring about that idea of growth, healing, and doing it from a place of love. Choose, even if it's a firm love, right? Even if it's like a clear definition of boundaries, it's there and it's beautiful and it's heart-centered, right? Volcano, right? The sort of the idea of maybe speaking our mind, blowing our top, getting a little bit upset. There's energy there too. We can also still keep that energy heart-centered. Just because we're angry doesn't mean we're not spiritual. Just because we're upset with something or something isn't the way that we like it and we feel the need to voice it doesn't mean that we have to throw like the truth of our heart out the window to have both feelings. Does that make sense? We can express ourselves clearly, strongly, firmly from a place that's centered in the heart. And also this idea of energy is about kind of monitoring our own energy and where we're at in the truth and the reality of that, right? So if that means that we need to resist something or be rebellious towards something that expects us to be a certain way, if we need to voice or maybe blow our top a little bit, do it from a place of love, but also doing it from that place of putting ourselves first, it really is sort of key. in all of this and not allowing, you know, people to take liberties or overstep their boundaries, so to speak. I don't have my glasses with me. Oh, shoot. Let me grab my glasses 1 second. Thank you. Sorry, guys. So keeping that sense of self and that heart-centered space on it will help all of this sort of to like move through this and move on to this. Remember, we have that end card of vision coming. So this grounding stone may bring us into that heart-centered space where we can also better see the vision from a more positive place. We may just have to go through a little bit of frustration or aggravation first. So let's go to volcano. Read volcano. Patience, repression, and lust. Oh, well, who couldn't use a little bit of lust? I feel like this is more about the truth coming forward when I'm looking at this, but that's just my own personal opinion. You guys can utilize patience and repression and all of that, but I feel like this volcano is actually shooting forward. So I don't necessarily get repression at all. I feel like we might actually not repress, blow our top a little bit, and get a little bit verbal in how. All right, the waning crescent number 2, resistance. Familiarize yourself with how resistance manifests for you. The overt and the covert. If you continue to have doors slammed in your face, turn around. There will probably be an open door. Procrastination is just another kind of fear. Move forward with confidence and persistence. I flow through resistance and I am in control. There are 2 kinds of resistance. The first type we encounter when we keep getting obstacles placed in our way, or our way is blocked. For example, we try to get a particular job in a particular field, but no matter what we do, it doesn't happen. This is external or overt resistance. Covert resistance, which occurs when we say we really want to do or complete something but feel resistance not to, is somewhat sneakier. All forms of procrastination fit in here, writer's block being a classic example. When we want to do something but get distracted and don't do it, or we just can't seem to engage our will enough, this is covert resistance. When we want to get rid of a bad habit, an addiction, an old pattern, in fact, anything we are thinking of releasing for the dark moon, and feel resistance in doing so, we have a big dose of covert resistance. We must battle the second kind of resistance like we would battle a crafty and terrible enemy. We must raise our shields and sharpen our swords and have a strategy to remove the resistance. In fact, we must flow through it. It's a battle we might have to fight more than once, but we will be resilient and vigilant, and fight it we will. For when we win, and we will win, the rewards are great. Why do we resist the things we say we want? Sometimes we don't really want those things. Most times, though, we are frightened about what might happen if we do get what we have asked for. What will people think? Will we lose our friends or family if we rise? Will it be for nothing if we try and fail? But we must be willful, and we must have courage. We must repeat to ourselves, this is what I really want for me. Yes, I am worth it. And then we stand up straight, put on our crown of sovereignty of our own lives, and go to battle. Companion stone or metal is red jasper. So I also think that I like this idea of covert resistance too, in the sense that when we find out maybe where we are resisting within ourselves, if we're utilizing our energy or the energy of our heart, we'll be able to find it more clearly. Does that make sense? If we're listening to the energy of our heart, we may be able to find areas where resistance resides and be able to grow past it or fight against it. So for some of you, that might be the message for today too. That is your forecast for the day. I kind of feel like today is a really good day. It might be a little bit volatile. Don't worry. Just keep your, let your heart lead as best you can, and see where it takes you. Does that make sense? So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up, give me a subscribe. Share it out, leave a comment, and I look forward to seeing you guys again tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great day. All right, take care. I love you all. Bye-bye.